All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Today we are reading ninth canto, chapter 11. Lord Ramachandra rules the world, from text 24 to 36. Text 24. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Sukadev Goswami, how did the Lord conduct himself and how did he behave in relationship with his brothers, who were expansions of his own self, and how did his brothers and the inhabitants of Ayodhya treat him? Text 25. Sukadeva Goswami replied, after accepting the throne of the government by the fervent request of his younger brother Bharata, Lord Ramachandra ordered his younger brothers to go out and conquer the entire world, while he personally remained in the capital to give audience to all the citizens and residents of the palace and supervise the governmental affairs with his other assistants. Text 26. During the reign of Ramachandra, the streets of the capital Ayodhya were sprinkled with perfumed water and drops of perfumed liquor thrown about by elephants with their trunks. When the citizens saw the Lord personally supervising the affairs of the city in such opulence, they appreciated his opulence very much. Text 27. The palaces, the palace gates, the assembly houses, the platforms for meeting places, the temples, and all such places were decorated with golden water pots and bedecked with various types of flags. Text 28. When Lord Ramachandra visited, auspicious welcome gates were constructed with banana trees and the betel nut trees full of flowers and fruits. The gates were decorated with various flags made of colored cloth and with tapestries, mirrors, and garlands. Text 29. When Lord Ramachandra visited, the people approached him with paraphernalia of worship and begged the Lord's blessings. O Lord, they said, as you rescued the earth from the bottom of the sea in your incarnation as a boar, may you now maintain it. Thus we beg your blessings. Text 30. Thereafter, not having seen the Lord for a long time, the citizens, both men and women, being very eager to see him, left their homes and got up to the roofs of the palaces. Being incompletely satiated with seeing the face of the lotus-eyed Ramachandra, they showered flowers upon him. Text 31 to 34. Thereafter, Lord Ramachandra entered the palace of his forefathers. Within the palace were various treasures and valuable wardrobes. The sitting places on the two sides of the entrance door were made of coral. The yards were surrounded by pillars of Vaiduryamani. The floor was made of highly polished Marakatamani, and the foundation was made of marble. The entire palace was decorated with flags and garlands and bedecked with valuable stones shining with celestial effulgence. The palace was fully decorated with pearls and surrounded by lamps and incense. The men and women within the palace all resembled demigods and were decorated with various ornaments which seemed beautiful because of being placed on their bodies. Text 35. Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, chief of the best learned scholars, resided in that palace with his pleasure potency Mother Sita and enjoyed complete peace. Text 36. Without transgressing the religious principles, Lord Ramachandra, whose lotus feet are worshipped by devotees in meditation, enjoyed with all the paraphernalia of transcendental pleasure for as long as needed. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Rasa Candrika Mataji, please accept our humble obeisances. All Guru Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Mataji, please take over the floor, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hi Krishna. Thank you, Pradeep Prabhuji, for reading the translation, and thank you, Mataji, for giving us this opportunity. Every morning we are able to um, read Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you for this opportunity. We are in ninth canto, 11th chapter, and we are going to do verses from 24 until 36, the end of the chapter. Before that, we'll do short prayers. ॐ अज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः ॐ नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमतिभक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्याधीशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all the devotees here. So we have been reading, I think at least 3 sessions on this particular chapter has been done. And it is Lord Ramchandra rules the world. In this chapter, in this particular chapter, we touched bases on quite a lot of things. The first few verses we understood about Sri Lord Ramachandra's reciprocation towards Brahmana, that he donated everything to them because he knew they are the most important people in our society, and they generally don't have desires, and they should be granted the most benefits. Thinking that Sri Ramachandra gave everything in donation, but we know how devotees are, how great devotees are. They really don't want any material benefits, but all what they want is the dust of Lord's lotus feet, and they returned it. We studied about that, and then we also looked deep into the descendants of Sri Lord Ramachandra, like how he had Lava and Kush, and then all his three brothers had 2 sons each. We read about that. Then what other leelas were done, like Shatrughna is the person who actually established Mathura so that the next Leela by Krishna can also happen. Then we also learned about Mother Sita. Mother Sita, she returned to Bhumi Devi, and how Sri Ramachandra, he performed Agnihotra Yagya for 13,000 years, maintained celibacy, and after conducting that yagya, he, along with all the Ayodhyavasis, everybody went back to the eternal abode. We learned all these things, and then again, like a very nice and a curious devotee, in verse number 24, Parikshit Maharaj asks, Maharaj Parikshit inquires Sukadev Goswami, is from where we are going to start today. And he asks, how did Sri Ramachandra conduct himself? He asked 3 questions. First of which is, how did he conduct himself? Second was, how was his behavior towards his brothers? And the last one was, and how did Ayodhya Vasis, the residents of Ayodhya, reciprocate to this kind of whatever behavior Sri Ramachandra had? So we understand three important questions, which will be answered by Sukadev Goswami, starting on from verse number 25. 25, dear devotees, is one of the important verses today. If you do have time, reading the translation in purport would be of great benefit. So in this verse, Sukhdev Goswami instantly replies that after accepting the throne of the government by fervent request of his younger brother Bharata, Bharat told him that I will not rule this kingdom. It's not for me. It is always yours. So after that request, when Sri Ramachandra accepts the throne, he tells his younger brother, now go conquer the entire world instantly. Now we'll go a little bit detail in every of these aspects. So why do you need to conquer the entire world? So it is explained, and we also further see it in Mahabharata also, that when there is a king, a superior king, there are kings in small areas also who are running that area, right? So they should also be submissive to the main personality, that is here it is Sri Lord Ramachandra. So for that it is necessary that you conquer them and let them know that who is the supreme over here. This is one of the pratha, one of the thing that used to be followed. We also see this happening again in Dwapar Yuga. When Yudhishthir Maharaj was king, he asked Arjun to go around the world and conquer all the kings. And that's when he also gets the dhan and called as Dhananjay. So here he instantly gave services to his brother. Now here Prabhupada is explaining why did he give him service. I mean, it's his own brother. No? You can stay together, live together, have a happy life forever after, right? It is very easy to do, but no. So here Prabhupada is explaining that God is always very merciful towards his devotee. And how does he show his mercy? By giving service. Why do you need service? Because otherwise what happens is our senses get too attached to the material opulences or material needs and desire. And after you get absorbed in material conditions, getting back up to bhakti is a difficult task, right? When we are going in a pool and we are sure that our kid might not be able to swim, or we are doubtful that he or she might not be able to swim, what is the first thing we do? We put the floaties on them so that whatever happens, they don't drown, right? We do make this precaution. Similarly, Krishna gives us service as our floaty. That is like he's making precautions that if this child is going to be in service constantly, he is not going to get influenced by material calamities around him or her. And that ways the child will be safe and secure. And with that service attitude, you can keep moving in this swimming pool or ocean, you can say, of material world, and be safe. So this is why the first thing he did was give services to his brother. And then there is a question that might come up. Oh, the Ayodhya Vasis stayed there. They enjoyed themselves. But he gave services to his own brother. It means he loved Ayodhya Vasis more than his brother. No. Again, that is not the case. As we discussed already, services are given to only people who are really, really blessed by mercy of Krishna. Right? So we already have spoken about it that Krishna is equal to everyone. So here Sri Ramachandra is equal to his brother and he is equal to the citizens also. So as per their capacity, they are being given work. He did not ask Ayodhya Vasis to go fight a battle and win because he know they don't have that capacity. But Bharat, Shatrughna, Lakshman, they do have this capacity. Right? Like for example, a teacher in the class, a person who's a student who's really good in studies will teach her further more difficult sums also, further more difficult aspects also. But at the same time, a child who's not really good, she will teach him or her as per the grade level, like 2 plus 2 flow. But the other child might be taught 13 times 14 is what, right? Difference is there. But that does not mean the teacher is biased. The teacher is giving services as per the capacity of the child. Similarly, Krishna gives us services as per our capacity. Further, we move on. Prabhupada is saying that it is very necessary to do services. And in this aspect, Prabhupada is quoting a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is पृथिवेते आचेयत नगरादि ग्राम सर्वत पराचर हैव मोर नाम. What does this mean? Wherever a devotee is there, a pure devotee is there, he must execute the order of the Lord. And what is the order of the Lord? That everywhere there should be khyati, or there should be preaching of the powerful name of Krishna. This is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Yara dekhe tara kahe Krishna upadesh. It is very necessary for us to move out of our comfort zone and preach. Prabhupada is one of the biggest example. Like when we approach the age of 70, we plan that, come on, let's buy a plot or apartment in Vrindavan, and then we will live there happily ever after. We will do our mala, eat prasadam, go to temples, perfect life. Comfortable, right? This is why we do that. But at that age, Prabhupada decided, when he was already in that comfort, he was living in Radha Damodar temple. What was his need to come out of that area and come to USA? What was the need? But he did. Why? And he explains that why in this verse. He says that a pure devotee must execute the order of the Lord and must not gratify his senses by remaining stagnant in one place. Why? Because we can get attachment to that place. This is my cupboard. This is my bed. This is mine. The moment my starts coming in, bhakti starts going down. And he should not remain stagnant in one place, not be falsely proud, and thinking that because he does not leave Vrindavan, one chance in solitary place, and he becomes a great devotee. This is not the attitude what we have to accept. So here, Prabhupada then goes on to talk about service also. Sometimes we do this, we do get into this unnecessary rut. This is my service. First thing is, there is no my, this is service. It is given to you by the blessing of Shri Krishna, by the mercy of Shri Krishna. Nobody gets services just like that. It is always a mercy. So there has to be no mind. The services should be provided wherever, whenever, however required. Right? So this aspect also Srila Prabhupada has touched bases with, that we should not get too attached with services that this is mine. Otherwise, again, we are doing sense gratification. The moment we start using mine, there is sense gratification. Here further, Prabhupada is explaining that he gave audience to the citizens of and residents of that palace. Now why? So here Prabhupada is saying that Kanishta Adhikaris do not preach, but the Lord shows mercy to them also. Now, how is he showing mercy to them? What is a Kanishta Adhikari? We will establish that very quickly. There are three kind of Adhikaris we know: Uttama, Madhyama, Kanishta. As it goes by the word, Uttam is the highest, Madhyam is the middle, and Kanishta is the lowest. So, what are the characteristics of Kanishta Adhikari? That person is not very well versed with the knowledge of Shastra. Still in the process of learning, does not mean he or she is going to stay like that forever, but not yet very well versed in the knowledge of Shastra, not very well attached to the holy name, like myself. So here that is a Kanishta Adhikari. So why Sri Ramachandra is saying that he would want to be in front of them, like be audience to them, because Yad Yad Achariti Shrestha. Here, Sri Ramachandra is not sitting down on the throne and doing nothing. He is setting up an example of how you should be and how you should behave. So whenever any superior personality does anything, the common people follow. We have learned this in Bhagavad Gita. So here also, by giving them audience, by staying with the people in Ayodhya, he was actually working for their benefit only, right? By showing them how they have to behave and work. So from here on, we move on to the next verse, verse number 26. In verse number 26, a very amazing line is there. It says that Lord Ramachandra's kingdom was very, very opulent and was sprinkled with perfumed water and drops of perfumed liquor. So on this aspect, Srila Prabhupada has elaborated a little bit, which is really beautiful. So here it has been said that we can understand what was the opulence of Ayodhya. Till date, we hear people saying, oh, we would want to have Ram Rajya. What is Ram Rajya? People like myself don't have the complete clear picture of what Ram Rajya is. This chapter is amazing for that. So in Ram Rajya, Prabhupada is explaining that Sri Ramachandra just did not sit on the throne and enjoy fruits and vegetables and people serving him. No, that is not kind of leader he was. It is said he was not a sleeping monarch. And as we can understand that his activities of sending his brothers outside was also for the welfare of the kingdom. And then he did not sit there. He introspected every little detail that was taking place in the kingdom. He was supervising everything constantly. And because of this attitude, the kingdom was so opulent that now they are doing even the most extreme thing, like they're bringing elephants to make the kingdom more fragrant by putting like perfume everywhere, sprinkling perfume everywhere. So this shows how opulent that area was. Here it is said that he was a very active king, and he is given the word, Prabhupada says, Digvijay. What is Digvijay? So here it is said that Sri Ramachandra gave all the facilities to the people in the kingdom to live life very happily and comfortably. Now, what does happy and comfort means? I mean, you can supply them with houses and furniture, and this is not happy and comfort comes from. So here, the first important thing that he did was teach them what is Varnashram system and brought them up into that Varnashram system. Here it is also said that Sri Ramachandra gave punishment to people who deserved it. When I read this, I could recollect one of the Leela which I've heard, that once there was a Shudra who was trying to read Shastra and he was not supposed to, and he was been forbidden, but he was still doing it, going beyond the authority. And that's when Ramachandra cut his head off. So here he gave punishment. So now we were talking that, oh, Ramachandra is so kind. Kind does not mean he will not lay down foundation. It is a good king is one who is also strict with humility, who lays foundation strongly with lot of love to bring them hand in hand together. That is the kind of a king he was. And for Varnashram system, he stressed too much importance on how a Brahman category, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra should come up. Because of our corrupt mindset, we exploited the Varnashram system and made it into caste system. And then we have the audacity to turn around and blame God. Krishna, Bhagwan made this caste system, so much discrimination. We made caste system. Varnashram system is purely based on your ability, not on your birth. Now, that we already know, we don't need to get into extreme details about it. But the whole reason it is said, Prabhupada is saying, that his Ram Rajya was so beautiful was because of the Varnashram system laid down very efficiently. Today, again, we see every country we will see there is some kind of revolt. We cannot say, oh, in this country everybody is happy. That is not possible. We cannot be happy in Dukhalayam, right? So we are not happy. Why? Because we have lost our foundation. We don't have a good system of Varnashram system. Moving on to verse number 27. And from here onwards, Prabhupada has not given any purport. It is more of a description of how beautifully the people in the kingdom reciprocated to such an amazing king. So here it is said the palaces and the gates and everything were always bedecked with like gold pots and all. It looked so beautiful. In verse number 28, it is said that wherever Sri Ramachandra went, people started making, auspicious arches like made with banana leaves for entrance and all. So there was too much investment we see from the people from the kingdom towards Sri Ramachandra. Why is that? That is because out of love, affection. And how is that love and affection coming? It is reciprocation. We don't hear any day nowadays, oh, I love this king or this prime minister or this president. People are abusing only, right? Because they are not getting it from the supreme person in that particular country. So here Sri Ramachandra gave so much love and respect and laid down the foundation so nicely that people also reciprocated in the same manner. In verse number 29, we see that people approached him. Like, we always think twice to approach any superior person, but everybody is approaching him with paraphernalias and then also offered prayers to him. These prayers were really good. O Lord, they said, as you rescued the earth from the bottom of the sea, Varaha Avatar, you may you now maintain it, like you maintain us also. And they begged for blessing. So the people in the kingdom very well know that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. Right? He is incarnated as Sri Ramachandra in this time. But they very well know that he is that Varaha avatar, he is that Matsya avatar, he is Narsimha avatar, they know it. And they know it because who gives this intelligence? We have learnt in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna only gives us intelligence, remembrance, and forgetfulness. Verse number 30. We see that there were times when they were not able to see Sri Ramachandra for whatever reason, they could not bear it. They would climb onto the roof of the castle, and then the moment they would see a glimpse of Sri Ramachandra, they would start showering flowers. So that much love Sri Ramachandra got from his kingdom. And then in this verse until 36, there is a lot of opulences described as if the floor was made with the Markat money. What is Markat money? We have always learned that Vishnu has a Markat money over here. It is a very, very valuable jewel. With that kind of jewel, the whole floor is made on which people walk. The foundation is made of the marble. We put one marble countertop in our kitchen, a haribol. Yeah. So you see how opulent it is. And everything was made with celestial things. Even the people in that kingdom, it is said that they look like demigods. They were so well to do. And it was all because of such a great king over there. And in verse number 35 and 36, we conclude the chapter. And in this, it is said that a Supreme Personality of Godhead resided in such a beautiful place, and it was so opulent, and the kingdom was so amazing. They loved him so much. He lived really happily over there with Mother Sita, and he could have enjoyed there for as long as he wanted. It was such an amazing place. Why? Because most important thing there was Sri Ramachandra. Yeah, one important thing makes everything nice around. So Sri Ramachandra was there, and there was a kingdom which was abiding by him. It was a glorious place that we still desire to have, but can't. Okay, this chapter is over here. I will stop my voice here. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you all devotees for joining the class today. Hare Krishna.